I was a stay-at-home mom for 18 years. We have 3 children, and so one of our pastors was doing a women's study, and he began to share about how we as women continually do Bible studies, and really we're under the shade of our husbands who are working in the world and connecting with all different kinds of people, and how we may feel like that we're growing spiritually, but really we're kind of in a bubble because we're not really in the world. And so honestly, I was a little pricked by that, like, well, am I? And God began to speak to me, yes. And I began to feel like, okay, we are safe. And that's not what God called us to do. So my family and I began to look for an opportunity, or I did, where in the summer my children and I could go and interact with others who weren't exactly like us. So the Resource Center, how it got started, was a small closet at Grace Church. And it was actually a couple of foster families that were fostering infants, and you know how they grow so fast and move out of their things. So we had a closet that they swapped out items. And from that realized that, hey, this is a need and this is a niche that we could fill. So our church was donating more than the closet could handle, and changed the name from a closet to the Resource Center, because the goal would be, is not just the clothes and the items, which is primarily what we do, but is an opportunity to connect people, connect with trainings, hopefully connect with Jesus. Is kind of what the goal is. So we moved here in September to this location as Grace Church bought this property, and organized it, and we have many people who are helping support us. We've got schools that are doing drives, we've had Girl Scout groups, we have companies that'll do for their Christmas party, they'll have gifts that they bring, and this is the recipient of that. So the Resource Center is not a Grace Church ministry, it is a community ministry. So I want to challenge you to think, are you called to take another child in your home? Could you foster? Could you adopt? Adoption is permanent. Foster could be you have a child in your home for 3 days. It could be for a couple of months. And then if that's not what you're called to, what are you called to? What are your gifts? What are your talents? Are you a great chef? Do you cut hair? Do you fix cars? Do you mow grass? And then look at just the means that God has given you. Do you have tons of clothes and games and toys at your home that could be shared with another child? Would you like to take your children and go shop for somebody who you don't even know? One of my biggest sins is fear. And I feel like many of us women do that. We're fearful of our marriages, we're fearful for our children, we're just fearful of the unknown. And I mean, God talks about that all the time in the Bible. And I guess I didn't really realize it was for me, but I'm going to encourage you as a woman, probably older than maybe some that are listening to this, but go to the cliff and step. And God's going to catch you, and He's going to use you, and there are wonderful things that you can share with others. And don't miss the opportunity because you're fearful and you're afraid of the unknown.